Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to another Wild Eye Wednesday. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at The Streets Run Red. But before I get into my review, I wanted to take the time to thank Wild Eye for sending me this copy to review for you guys. They have an awesome company. They are definitely where it's at with independent horror. I'm going to put the links for their YouTube channel and their official website in the description box below. Definitely check them out. Now, The Streets Run Red is a 2017 film which runs approximately 86 minutes and is written and directed by Paul McArnley. Yeah, why I'm having trouble saying that. He was responsible for Honky Holocaust, The Ungovernable Force, and a ton of anthologies. Now, this stars Lloyd Kaufman as a voiceover for the football game that they're all watching. I'm just going to say Trauma because I shouldn't have to say anything more. Tony Moran as Pike. Now, Tony Moran was the guy that you saw when the Shape was unmasked in the original Halloween, in case I'm spoiling it for anybody. Of course, he was in the original Halloween. He was in Beg, which actually wasn't a bad film, and Death House, which, oy vey, yeah. And finally, Susie Lorraine as the insane mother of Wolf Baby. Yeah. She was in American Criminals, Cries of the Unborn, and Hospital Arrest. Now, this had a budget of 15 grand. And this is part of Wild Eye's Raw and Extreme label. It's unrated, and let me tell you, it is raw and extreme. Okay, I'm going to get into a brief synopsis of this one. While out grocery shopping, a man gets held up by another man as he's walking home. And apparently that guy just picked the wrong person to mess with because he is violently murdered by the man he's trying to hold up, which, of course, gets him put in jail. And the police actually have stumbled onto the Kubrick killer. And the Kubrick killer is wanted for insane psychosexual killings that have been taking place. So, while the Kubrick killer is in jail, and he comes off as a very charming fellow too, which is one of my pros about this film. He kind of has that Patrick Bateman feel to him, kind of. He's very charming, very, very smart, you can tell. As he's sitting in jail and the cops are trying to find out who he is, there is a big football game going on, which of course Lloyd Kaufman is the voiceover for the football game, the announcer. And not only does the guy in the cell have money on the game, but the cops have money on the game too, which is like kind of like a side plot and is referenced several times within the film. As the Kubrick killer sits in jail while the cops try to figure out who he is, he starts remembering the things that made him the Kubrick killer. I'm pretty much going to leave it there. This is not for the faint of heart, and this is not for the squeamish. Now, I watched reviews from my friend Brad and my friend Dave. And by the way, Dave actually knows the guys who did this film and knows a lot of the people involved in this film. And I kind of picked his brain a little bit. He said they were very nice people, and I did have one con, which I'm going to get out of the way right now for the film. I didn't like the color of the blood. It just bothered me. It seemed like it was too watered down, and the consistency wasn't right. It almost seemed like almost like a Hawaiian Punch sort of blood, which I've seen in other movies, and I'm sure they're doing it because there's been a lot of blood used, and that stuff costs money. And this only had a $15,000, budget. So that is my one con for the film. This, I don't really know if I can call it a con or if I'm not going to call it a con. They go there. And what I mean by they go there, there is basically nothing that is off limits in this film. Some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen is on this movie. And I've seen a lot of wild stuff. I mean, another title from Wild Eye that I reviewed very early in doing these was a movie called Doll Syndrome. And that movie was, while it was filmed very well and it told a really interesting story, it was a very tough watch. This is also a very tough watch. I am going to recommend this only to people like my friend Rick from Us Only, because he loves extreme horror. If you're not into extreme horror, you are going to want to skip this. I'm just giving you a warning right now. It has some vile stuff in it, and I can appreciate what they went through. I mean, the special effects, the guts that they used, the makeup, the dummies that they used when they were doing these torture scenes were amazing looking. I was completely impressed. The only thing I didn't care for, like I said, was the blood. And it had to do with the color and consistency. And I don't know why that matters to me, but when I watch a movie that is a gore based movie, it just bothers me. The acting is extremely well done, and overall, I kind of enjoyed the movie, even though it went a little too far in some spots. So kind of take that for what it's worth. And another special thank you to Wild Eye for sending me this copy. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.